Squad up, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of The Squad.
I don't know why I was trying to get this like Mario thing going. It didn't work. I'm sorry.
What?
You know when he be down, wow, it's like something like that. I don't know.
I'm trying to think about it.
You like when Mario be like dying or like he falling from a great height from like certain games. He's just
No, he'll say something. He'll be like, "Oh,
it depends on the game because some like from back in the day, like Super Mario Sunshine 64, if he was like falling, then what? Like boy, I've been on TikTok a little too long. I have some nostalgia.
That's all right. That's all right. How are you?
Man, look, I'm sleepy. I'm tired. I ain't gonna hold you. That thunderstorm that we had last 2 days. Do you know that thunder and lightning hit my neighborhood like Tuesday and it shook the neighborhood at like 4:21?
4:21 in the morning?
In the morning.
Oh, I was up praying at that time.
Man, and then the next day, like after I got off work, remember it started storming like yesterday evening. Lightning struck in front of the house.
Yo, that's wild.
It clipped the tree across the street of my neighbor's yard to where part of it started catching on fire, but the rain was hitting too hard.
Wow.
So it like put it out real fast. I was like, I ain't never seen it before. I'm like, Lord, you know, whatever it is, I'm sorry.
No, like so that morning, like God had woke me up to pray, and as I was praying, that's when it started raining. It started raining harder and harder and harder, and then that's when thunder and lightning started happening. And I was like, Jesus, what's going on?
So this is your fault. I'm just playing.
Nah, I ain't got no kind of power like that.
Unless he said you can move a mountain with faith. Ain't no telling what you did.
Listen, I mean, if lightning struck y'all, because I was praying for you at that time. So if lightning struck you, ain't no telling.
Wait a minute, you were praying for me at that time with that?
Yeah, I was praying for everybody at that time.
Boy, I'm terrified. Wait. What is happening?
But like I said, I ain't to say I have power. Like that ain't none of me. That's
I know it ain't.
Like I was definitely like putting y'all name out there in the atmosphere, like and commanding the devil to break stuff and let it go and all that. Listen,
man, look, lightning struck
God
around our house.
A lot about my prayers and praying more in the spirit and praying according to His word. And how I know it's doing something is because the devil getting real pissed off at me because stuff just been happening the past 2 weeks. But that's all right, because he ain't gonna win.
He ain't gonna, boy. I'm trying to tell you something. Like something literally shook the atmosphere.
And so around that time was when Peppermint started. Peppermint is my dog, y'all. So Peppermint started getting real clingy that morning, and I had a feeling he was gonna try to get to her to get to me. And because it was just like she was just real clingy. She didn't want me to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was getting ready for work. She didn't want me to leave. She kept like standing up under me. And it was frustrating me. And I know in that way he was trying to use her to get to me by frustrating me and trying to give it to my frustration. And I wasn't having it. So I was like, Peppermint, I'm not mad at you. I love you. Because I saw like she was getting like when I said chill out, she got real antsy and she like kind of she inched in like she was scared. And I said, I'm not upset with you. I love you. I know what I see what the enemy is doing though, and I'm not gonna let him use you like that. So then I get back. I get home from work. She has an upset stomach. I said, ain't no way you're supposed to have an upset stomach because we changed her food. We made sure that her food is good for her stomach. It's been working for her these past few months. Like she's straight. I was like, ain't no way you're supposed to have an upset stomach. This ain't nothing but the devil. And so I started praying in that moment too. Like he really been like coming at me this week and in the week before. Like, but it's all right because my God is awesome. My God is faithful. My God is amazing. And he ain't gonna he's not gonna win. He getting real pissed off trying.
Man, look, I'll say it's been an active 30 days of just going back and forth trying to
no, like how he really trying to get me is my finances. Like, because now I have he's trying to block me getting to school, which is I know something gonna happen when I get to school. Like God got some plan for when I get to school. because he's really trying to block me getting to school right now.
Yeah, because I'm trying to pray on if I need to stay in my program or go ahead and move. Because for some reason, like when I have seen like when stuff pop out the woodwork that I gotta like hunt after, I'm learning that that's God testing me to see how bad I want it some days. Because he don't just give it to me.
And that's the thing. Like that's another thing. The enemy knows how to use, especially when you get close. He knows how to use you against you, and so you have to work against him in that way. You have to work. You have to deny yourself. You have to kill your flesh. And God has been speaking to me about that, and about fasting more and killing my flesh more, and like letting my flesh know you not gonna have authority over me, because if you have authority over me, the enemy knows that he can use you against me, and I'm not having that. So you have to really know how to, you have to start practicing fasting. And God has really been getting on me about that. And especially because last week I slacked a little bit and I gave into my fast.
See, he been getting on me with tithes.
Well, and understand this though. Tithe is more than your money. How are you tithing your time? How are you tithing the energy that he does give you? Because when you say stuff like, I ain't got the energy to do X, Y, and Z, he's giving you the energy. And maybe at that particular time you may not have the energy, but when you do have the energy, what are you doing with
it? So that's like the reason why I've been reading Michael Tyler's book, Crazy Favor. I remember I told y'all this in Bible study. And it was just this part in the book. Actually, what is the book? Because I want to read that thing verbatim. I ain't had no highlighter, so I had to sit up here and use a pen. I hate using pens in books. But it was just so
cool.
I hate
it. It don't make the same impact as a highlighter.
It don't. And the problem about it is because I ain't want too much pen in it. You know how when you gotta use pen, you put like the block, the little sideways half block at the beginning of the text and end of the text. That's what I had to do. And I was real upset about it because I was like, man, I don't even want no pen in this book. Where that thing at? Because it was in his second chapter called Baby Faith. And that's what he was dealing with me with, because he was talking about faith and seed form and all of these different things. Now I got to try to find the passages, not highlighted, with pen blocks. There you go. He said, Jesus said it himself, it's in red print and everything. You can pray for anything. If you want to have crazy faith, it's time for you to stop discounting the things that call for baby faith. You're hoping for God to one day make you a philanthropist who pays off college tuitions and donates millions to charitable organizations, but you won't give God 10% of your retail store paycheck right now. CEO status starts with the baby step of taking care of what you have right now.
And that's true, but also
it's an example.
Yes. And it's that, but also because I wrote that as one of y'all prayers. Like it's not just about you asking him for anything. It's asking him to use whatever you're giving to him for his glory. It's asking him, because we could be doing stuff for the wrong reasons. We could be asking him for stuff for the wrong reasons. Oh, I want money just because I want to be rich. Okay.
But that's what he checking in the chapter. He talking about not from that step of, I would say, doing stuff for the wrong reasons, but doing stuff as far as the baby steps of trying to trust God in your faith. And he's in that passage, he's saying, and even in the Bible tells you like how the smallest thing to you, God still wants you to talk to him about it.
Right.
Because nothing is insignificant to him when it comes to you. So that's why he was highlighting the part that said you can pray for anything. Not saying, because it was like, where's the chapter? Because I remember it was one on, I think it was Hebrews, but it was like different parts in the Bible where he's just highlighting how God really wants us to have conversation with him and really trust him with everything that goes on in our lives.
Right.
And to have him a part of everything that we may want. It doesn't mean we're going to necessarily get everything we want, because everything we want ain't healthy for us.
Right.
But it's more like anything that you got going on, always have God in it. Right. You might get a no, or really the next chapter is called Maybe Faith, when really you might get a maybe. Because God ain't gonna always tell you yes off the bat. He might just give you a possibility that might come in your mind. But even the possibility is for you to have faith that it may come rather than the pessimism of it can't happen.
Yeah, okay.
That's what he was breaking down. So it's not just about like I can get anything I want, like genie stuff. Like, no, he said you can pray for anything, but God's still gonna have the dominion of, okay, it's my thoughts are higher than your thoughts.
Yeah.
Because in
And
maybe
also,
faith, he talked about that too.
and like you said, it's about giving everything to him. So when we talk about prayer, it's not about, like, prayer is not just, we said it before, prayer is not just asking for stuff. It's having a conversation with God. So basically take out the word pray and say you can have a conversation with God about anything. Pray does be like, oh my goodness, my English. Prayer,
Hey man, look, be you.
the definition of pray is asking or making a request. Because if you think about the term pray tell, pray basically means I ask that you tell me this. Pray tell, please tell me this. I ask that you tell me this. So prayer is asking, but prayer is also to be a conversation with God. That's why we are to stay in prayer. We are to stay in constant communication with God. And so,
Mm-hmm.
yes, talk to him about things. Talk to him about stuff that you don't know about. I'll say all the time, Lord, I'm thinking about this, but I don't know. But I want to tell you that I'm thinking about it because I don't want to try to do it all on my own. I don't want to try to figure it out on my own. Can you give me some clarity about this situation? Because like I said, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Like even today, I was having a moment to where it's just, I guess, a moment of weakness when it comes to like just things going on around me. And I was like, Lord, I don't want to be jealous.
Mm.
But I was just like, I'm just telling you what I feel right now. And
Mm-hmm.
hopefully not out of jealousy that you help me either process it or grow me towards the direction I'm trying to go. Because I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be jealous. I just want to be whoever you called me to be.
And I
So,
think a lot of us will grow when we get to that point, like when we start really stop running from God with our sins and just flat out say, I don't want to be this way, but I am telling you right now, this is where I am right now. And
mm-hmm.
just trusting God with our hearts in that way and trusting that he is going to love us even though that is where we are.
Mm-hmm.
And trusting that he will see fit to he will his word will not return to him void, and trusting that he who has begun a greater work in you is faithful to perform, trusting that if I know you said you're going to do this in me, do this work in me, and I know part of that is me accepting that where I'm not is that work. Like I'm not at that point that you said you're going to complete in me. I'm not at that point where you said you're going to complete the work in me. I am still
Or
in this place.
or the dang part of you that be like, Lord, I don't even want to play like I am.
Right.
I
Right.
don't even want
Because
to
we'll
fool
get caught up
myself into
faking.
thinking that I'm a complete work right now.
Right. We'll
I,
get caught up faking real quick.
yeah, and that's so crazy because it's so easy to do, because once you start feeling like you're going down a path the way you starting to check off certain boxes, in a sense, you'd be like, oh yeah, I'm straight now. Like, no.
No. No,
Yeah.
no, no, no.
I'm like, Lord, I'm gonna tell you, I feel like I'm starting to fool myself
Mm-hmm.
into thinking that I'm all right. I just want to let you know where I'm at. And it's
Sometimes
just
you
the
gotta look yourself in the
transparency.
mirror. Yeah, you gotta look yourself in the mirror and be like, you are not who you think you are.
Mm-hmm. Boy, when I tell you, and then some situations around you, if you don't face it yourself, it will break you down to let you know.
Mm-hmm. But that's also a humbling process. That's why God allows certain situations like that to happen, so that we can be humbled and remember, you think you here, but you really not. And this is why you still need my help. And this is why
Mm-hmm.
I want to help you. I love you enough to help you. I know this ain't where you're supposed to be. And I ain't gonna leave you down there to just be like that when I know that ain't what you're supposed to be doing.
And that's the thing, like I've been noticing lately, like with things that have been going on around me and prayers I've been having, it's just like there have been times to where instead of situations happening to where I'm more upset or caught up with what somebody else has done. This is how I know God done really changed my perspective on things. I have been more caught up in how I am doing, and I'd be like, because you remember that situation I told you not too long ago, and I was like, the situation happened, and I wasn't really concerned about what had happened. I was more concerned about the fact that I was desensitized to it.
Mm-hmm.
That is the place that I begin to where God will sometimes put you in a situation and be like, okay, is he going to react to what is going on around him or react to the situation, or is he going to react to what it made him really feel like?
And that's where I am with like what's been going on these past couple of weeks, because I also know this is how God moves. Like my mind always goes back to Job. No, he's not like, I pray he has mercy on me and does not take everything and everybody away from me. But like I do recognize.
Listen, I done had that and you don't want it. It is not a nice experience.
Yeah, I do recognize though where God looked at Lucifer and was like, go on, do what you gonna do, but it ain't gonna work. Or just he ain't even telling me that ain't gonna work. He just like knew like this because the enemy was like, oh, this your faithful child or whatever.
This the one right here, right? This the
And the
one you
only
like,
reason
this
he
the one you
faithful,
trust like that.
yeah, the only reason you trust him, or the only reason he faithful is because he ain't had nothing happen to him and da 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 da. And I know God will use that. The enemy will use it as an attack, but God will use it as a test. To show improve your faith and to also show improve who he is and to remind the enemy, don't play with me.
Ooh, you know what? I'm proud of myself. Dang, I ain't even think about that.
Don't be proud of yourself.
No. What I mean by that is not no. It's not what I mean. I mean like pat on my back because God been working with me with something. Because I realized from that last situation I was talking about that in that moment, it was times where in the past where my reaction was different.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, and it's more like it was times in the past where I would be like not listening or won't take a pause or be in so much rage that I didn't care what was happening. And it was like in that moment I was reacting to somebody who literally clearly wronged me, and I was just like, yeah, you're right. I'm gonna start wilding. And I was just like, now that I think about the process, I was like, wow, oh God, it really worked on you.
Yeah, and like, and not even he really worked on you. Like, I'm listening. Because a lot of times our biggest part is really just listening and applying what he said. And like after a while, God stopped telling us because he'd be like, you already know this. I told you already what to do. Or I told you already what not to do. And so now it's up to us to apply it. Not to say he's done teaching or anything like that, but it's like, okay, you done been through this. What you gonna do? Because and like I told you what to do. So what you gonna do? How you gonna fight? And I also had a dream this week where I was fighting. Listen, when I tell you them fighting dreams, really let me know how I'm growing. Because I had a dream where the enemy hit me, but it was like a baby punch.
That's how you know you get strong. God makes you stronger.
It was like, yeah, it was like a baby, like, and I knew it was the enemy. Like when I woke up, at the time, he came off as some random, like an ex. He was an ex.
Oh, interesting.
And so, right. And so it was a baby punch. And I was like, I just looked at him and I just yanked him and like DDT.
Oh, not WWE.
I DDT'd him and just started punching him, and his nose was bloody and he had a busted lip and everything. I said, I said, all right, Jesus, I see, I thank you. And that's letting me know, like, period, like that's the victory, period, where I am.
I was just gonna say that's giving you victory. And it seems like since it's an ex, it's giving you victory over old situations.
Right. And then and old stuff, and it's old stuff that he's tried to, that's really stuff that has been coming up this week. It's old stuff that he has tried to use against me. And I'm thinking back on the ways that I used to react and how I'm reacting now. Because the only thing I do now is I praise God for what he's about to do. I don't tell God. It's cliche. It's a cliche that said a lot, but I don't tell God about how big the problem is. I tell the problem how big my God is. And that's really where I am right now. And I give God all the glory for that. Like, I take no credit for that. That's all God. Like, I'm just happy to be in this position now. And I just pray again for mercy and that nothing else happens.
Yeah. It'd be like that too.
And that's real honesty though. Like, it's like, okay, I'm happy I'm here. I really just pray that God has mercy and don't send no more mess. Or don't allow for no more mess to happen. And
I learned it, please. Thank you.
I'm gonna keep praying. I'm gonna keep in my word. I'm gonna keep fasting, and I'm gonna keep trusting in Him, because those are my weapons, and so I'm gonna keep practicing with my weapons, so that I can be perfected in my weapons and using my weapons. But like, yeah, I DDT'd and we fought or whatever, and then the nigga took me to court for busting his lip for fighting him. And I said,
what she did to me.
Yes, pretty much. That's exactly how it was. And like, the jury was taking his side, and I said my side and left it at that. And the jury was really like, I don't know. And then the judge like took it upon himself to throw a shoe at the dude. And then I woke up, and I was like, when I woke up, I was like, oh, that was you, God, saying like, you know what's up. But that was God taking my side. I said, bet.
Yeah, because He's gonna always take your side when you're right.
Right.
Just like a good parent.
Right. So
I'm with you right. I'm gonna try to protect you when you're wrong though, but we're gonna talk about this later.
Right. But yeah.
Time you out here wilding.
So that's what's been going on with me. That's where I've been.
Man.
A couple weeks. And so I'm just curious to see what's coming. And I'm gonna just keep on trusting in God. Like I said, stay in prayer, stay in fasting. And that's it.
Yeah, I'm retesting myself. More of the way He been dealing with me with I would say tithing is the version of, I guess He came to me in a weird way of saying, you say all these things, but your actions do not line up with the trust you say you got. So this is your first test I'm gonna give you as far as saying, do you trust me? Because you know me and you, not saying that you don't trust me, but the word gave you a trust problem. So because of that, that's why me and you be having fluctuations. Because you be treating me like everybody else. So because of that, here go your test. I already set it up, and I ain't even gonna hold you. It hurt when I saw that 10% go somewhere else. I'm not saying that I always needed my 10%, like I was money hungry, but from survival mode of being broke for so long, like, and counting your pennies, when you see pennies go somewhere else that ain't towards a bill or something for you in your mind, you be like,
but that was, I mean, but even that test is God revealing to you, like, and that feeling coming, that is to reveal to you where your trust has been. Your trust has been in the money. Your trust has been in your security coming from the money instead of coming from God.
No, my trust has been from me. The topics are not the topics. My trust has been from me. Okay. Because I didn't trust nobody else. That's the difference. It's not like, oh, your trust came from the money. No, that's an easy way out of that. Me having to sit down with it, I was like, no, your problem is your trust has always been in yourself because you felt like you couldn't depend on nobody else. And that comes from the fact of when you try to depend on somebody else, people either betrayed you or was never there. So you just got into this idea of, if I don't do it, nobody else will. So because of that, you have trapped yourself in this ongoing cycle of feeling like the whole world is on you, but you also try to help the whole world. in order to make you feel better about the problems that you have of trapping yourself in this mentality that no one can help you. Or you feel like no one will be willing to help you or will be able to understand what you got going on.
I definitely get that. Oh my. I just had a conversation with God about that in the car earlier. It was more like a revelation that I had just about the reason why it was really the topic of the revelation, the theme of the revelation was really just love. And how many of us, or the world, is just in the situation that it's in because of the absence of love of Christ. Of course, Christ is love, God is love. But again, as I'm learning about God and learning about Christ and who God really is, I'm like, okay, this is this because we don't have this.
Mm-hmm.
This is this because we don't have this. And it makes so much sense. And even with the ideology of nobody is going to be willing to help me, that is because we have seen an absence of love for so long in this world. And people are so concerned with themselves and not with each other. If everyone was concerned with each other, we wouldn't have to be so concerned about ourselves like that.
I'm gonna be honest. If the whole world worked together, we wouldn't have the majority of the
We
problems.
wouldn't have any of it. But look at where we live, though. Look at where we live. That's why when you sent me that on TikTok, I was like, it's just all evil, period. And it's because if you look at where we live, we are not in a space that wants to help anybody here.
No, because in order to help somebody, it will cost more than gain.
To them, it will cost more to them. It will be a gain for everybody else.
But the thing about it is, it's a cost. It wouldn't gain them the money.
Exactly. But then again, they have put that's a group of people who have put their faith in money to the point where that's the love of money is the root of all evil. That's why the Bible says that. If you look at our government and how it is so hell bent on having all the money and then in debt, how you gonna be all about the money but then in debt? Anyway.
Because we so much about the money that we'll take money from other people, but we don't get it back.
Exactly. But then, again, them being so laser focused on money and that money equaling power for them and all of this stuff, which they have been tricked.
They were tricked a long time
ago.
ago.
You are really dumb. You are so dumb.
Why I saw the video exactly in my head when you said that.
But you really think this money is giving you power, and it's not. That is also why the Bible says that it's harder for a rich man to get into heaven than to get a camel through the eye of a needle, because you are so reliant on your money, you will not give it up. And that causes evil for everyone else. What if God really said to you, it will do a world of good if you just let go of your money? It will be so beneficial to everyone else if you just let go of your faith in money. But you don't want to. So it costs everybody else. And everybody else is going through this hell and all this evil because you don't want to. And then you end up in hell. And then
rather quickly.
You're going to wonder why. And it's so funny. You end up in hell is because the things that you do cost somebody else. It hurts somebody else. That's why, again, we are here for each other. We have to realize that how we operate affects other people.
And that's the thing that sometimes we don't want to face because we still such stuck in this selfishness of it's only happening to me, so it ain't gonna bother nobody else. No, sometimes stuff don't even bother you. It bothers other people, right? From what you done did. It's almost like bad government. Like the real decisions don't affect them because, they made them, but affect the people at the bottom.
Right.
That's the same way we be doing sometimes with the sins that we have that we don't really see the immediate punishment of.
Mm-hmm. It's going to affect your children.
It's going to affect your children, or it's going to affect the people around you. It might not even touch you. It's going to probably touch people around you. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing that don't nobody want to talk about.
That sin is holding you back from who God called you to be, and that's going to affect other people that's connected to you. You may have a calling on your life and you can't get to the calling because you're so stuck in the sin. And then that's going to affect who that calling was supposed to affect.
That's why I be telling people who got testimonies, you need to start telling it, because you don't never know when you holding it back, who you holding it back from that can help.
Right. And that's why God calls us to make disciples. I had a conversation with somebody and they said, like, well, you know, God don't call all of us to make disciples. Actually, he does. It's not done. It doesn't have to be done in a particular way. Everybody has a way depending upon their circumstances, their personality, and everything. In their circles, it has it, but it's for everybody to go out and share the gospel and share the truth of the gospel and live out the gospel so that we can be examples of Christ. It's for every Christian. Every Christian has that responsibility. I don't care what nobody says. That's in the Bible. But what I think what holds us back is the fear of doing it. And the fear of that responsibility and not wanting to take that responsibility on. No, you can't change nobody's heart by yourself, not at all. But you can sow the seeds, and what God is calling us to do in going out and making disciples is sowing the seeds. We talk about that all the time too. Like, you may not be the person to have to water them and nurture them, but it's still your responsibility to sow the seeds, whether it's through how you live, how you interact with people, what your job. You don't know how God has called for you to go out and make disciples, how God has called for you to share the word. Why can't your when you join up with your girls or with your boys, why can't that be a time for y'all to get to know God's word more?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not normalized. But that's why, like, that was my idea for the Bible study in general. I wanted my friendships to be godly fellowship. You know, we can laugh and kiki and talk about life in general at the same time too, but I want to make sure God is at the center of all that.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, when you're trying to evolve certain friendships or like gain new ones, is like the root. What's the root?
Right. I don't want the root of our friendships to be gossiping about people.
Man, that's so taxing.
I don't want the root of our friendships to be us. No offense if you do it, but for us to get high and drunk all the time, because it keeps us from being sober minded.
Like all the time. Like really? Like,
and that's, I mean, for a while, that's I started realizing that even in my other friendships, like in the past, when I came to Christ, I was like, I don't know if that was part of me struggling with figuring out if I'm really these people's friends, or if I just like smoking around them, or if I just like drinking around them.
Well, like, that's what we talked about one day. It was like, what part is you and what part is like, this is just what you did because it was socially acceptable to do at the time in the group.
Right. And a lot of the times when we got together, it was just smoking all this. We was always high. We was always drunk. And I don't want that. I want us to be able to get together and study the word, and also get together and just have fun and chill out. We ain't got to be drunk to do that. We ain't got to be high to do that.
And you know what's so funny about that is, like, when I be thinking about all the times that we got together as friend groups, like, you remember there was a bunch of times that everybody be high and I wasn't.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, the whole room blazed, and I'm just sitting there like, playing the game.
Yeah.
Like, I do it every once in a while. Like, I wouldn't do it all the time, like every group setting. But it was just sometimes I just be like, I ain't got to do that today.
Yeah.
So that's
there
where
were times like I came because I enjoyed the camaraderie, of course.
Yeah.
That's always with me. I really enjoy the camaraderie of just group settings and hanging out with people that I like. But like, when there came a point where the only time we would get together or something like that was when we were getting high or drunk, I really started to realize that. And I was like, are we really friends, or do we just like to get high together and like to get drunk together?
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. It's a lot of friend groups out here that don't want to face that idea, because they know if they start drinking and smoking, it's over with.
Right. And so then that's another thing. You stay in your sin because you're lonely.
Mm-hmm.
That's why a lot of people stay in relationships. If y'all stop having sex, that's it.
It's over with. Because y'all ain't talked about nothing credible. Y'all conversations ain't even conversations. You use your mouth for other things, but I ain't say that. I ain't say that.
Wow.
But did I lie though?
No, not at all. So yeah, I think there's so much value in having those godly relationships. Let's go for a hike. Like everything we do, like it's centered in Christ in a way where we're representing Christ in some way. Even if we just get together, go for a hike. Okay, we're promoting health in this way. God wants us to be healthy, but also we're
We
just
definitely
growing.
did that.
We're exactly, but also we're just growing in communication and in connection with one another, which God wants as well.
And speaking of that, little
yeah.
side note, baby was so thrown off the fact that there was a lake shore.
Yeah.
But you know, she beach. Like she the Gulf. Like
Okay.
seeing an actual beach at a lake is like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's still wild in theory. That threw her out for a loop for at least a week. Because she was just bringing it up randomly. There was a shore at the lake. She's
Yes,
like randomly walking.
Yes, there was. That was
And
a good time, though. It was a good time.
That's crazy.
But yeah, like, and y'all, like, y'all who listening, I want to promote y'all to think about I want to encourage y'all to think about that. Like, think about a lot of your friendships and think about what they're centered on. Is it centered on just going out and partying all the time? And what does that partying look like? Because ain't nothing wrong with having a good time. But what is a good time?
That's right. What is the good time that you're having? Because if it's all just based off of very toxic things to you, that ain't a good time. It just feels like one.
What? Yeah. That's really all I got. I just wanted to come on here and talk about love. Like, love everybody. And also understand the world we living in is not based in love like it should be. And we really need to be we really, like, that's another thing I want to encourage us to do as a community. Like, be loving, be kind. When people, and God, the part of the revelation that God gave me is that the reason why I love him like I do is
love him
because,
like I do.
oh my goodness.
Hey,
Like, I really was just like, God, Jesus is just, you want everything that I want. That's why I rock with you. That's why I follow you, because I know if following you is like, once as I studied his word and studied who he was, I was like, yo, you're dope. You're very loving. You're very kind. You're the kind of person that I want in my life. That's why I follow you. You're the kind of person that I want to be.
Right. You're the example that I'm trying to follow. I ain't gonna be exactly like that because we can't, but I'm trying my best.
Yeah, I can't be perfect, but I do want to share love as best as I can. Why not? I told somebody last night, I was like, yo, I know you like really mean it out of like, I think you mean it out of respect, but like, I don't want you to have to feel like you have to apologize to me when you curse around me. Because I don't want you to feel like I don't love you as you are. I know that you're in that space and that's just where you are. I love you anyway. I'm not going to talk down on you or think ill of you because that's what you do.
Like, and that's the thing, like with some of my friends, I feel like I'd be like this. Look, I am saved, but I'm ignorant. Like, I am a great mix of righteous and ratchet. That to let people know you do not have to be the thuses and the thous when you come to speak to me.
I was like, you don't have to do that. Like, I was like, you haven't done that before, and you don't have to do that now.
I don't change up now that you know I'm saved. If anything,
like, I said,
if it
yes, I follow
convicts you,
Christ. Yes, if it convicts you, that's different. But like, because I'm a follower of Christ, like, I love you as you are. They didn't respond to the message because I don't know if they knew how to respond.
Because they was just sitting there like, huh, what?
Because we were on the phone first, and then after that, like, it was the second time they had done it where they like I'm sorry, after they were cursing. And I was like, you don't have to do that.
Man, you should have told him straight up. Do you know how my real friends be acting? One is so righteous and ratchet. Like he might slip up in Bible study.
Right. And we gonna love him anyway.
Because he gets so passionate that he forget.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I appreciated it. I appreciate that if he's doing it from a place of like, I don't want to offend her and all that, I appreciate it. And I appreciate it particularly because God's word talks about, making sure you have people around you who are of good character, who don't corrupt your character. So I appreciate it in that sense, but also I'm like, I love you anyway, because why not?
Right. It ain't that deep. Like, it's deep, but it ain't that deep.
Yeah, it's deep. Like, I still pray for you. I want better for you. I want you to know Jesus because he's Jesus. And I know, like, the joy of having him in your life. And so I pray for you in that regard. But, like...
And it's more like when that comes for me.
You.
And some people be thinking, like, everybody that's supposed to be a Christ follower is supposed to look the same as what I like to call the royal old guard of the church.
Oh my.
Especially in the Black community, of the royal old guard of the church. If I do not seem like I am wearing the hats, the jewelry, the Sunday suit, the too big deacon suit, the very colorful shoes, like if I ain't in that guard, and I only read King James version, like,
but we know some people who only read King James version though. Like,
it's nothing wrong with that, but I'm just saying, like, some people expect that everybody's supposed to be like that.
Right. And if you new to Christianity, I'll tell you to read the Message real quick.
Facts. And then try to lead up to other versions.
Exactly.
Like, because I ain't gonna hold you. When I was at my lowest, trying to still be with God, when I was in college, I was like, look, man, the only thing that even processed to me is the Message at this point. It's not that I didn't know King James Version. It wasn't that I grew up with it in NIV. It was just that at that point in time, in that head of mine, I needed layman's terms.
Mm-hmm.
I did not have
that's what people need. Like, people don't want to meet nobody where they at. Meet folks where they at.
That's why I tell people all the time. Like, if you trying to meet somebody with the expertise that you have when they are nowhere near, you are so rude.
But even that's me preaching to myself, because I was at a place where I couldn't meet people where they at. Where they at? Good Jesus, my grammar.
I told you. Listen,
my words, Lord.
Don't worry about that.
Like, I was in a position where I couldn't meet people where they were, whether it was for health and wellness, whether it was for walking with Christ. Like, I was the person where as soon as, and God had to check me on this, like, as soon as I came to know something and understand something, everybody had to come to know it and understand it in the way that I did. And that's not the way that we're supposed to be.
You were definitely like that. And I used to sit here and be like, oh, okay.
But it was for God to show me, like, you loved me anyway. It was for God to show me, like, no, ma'am, that's not what you need to be doing. That's being a Pharisee, really.
But the reason why I ain't never look at you crazy is because I met you where you was at. I was like, this is a person, and this is how I process it. Just tell me if I'm wrong. This is a person that the reason why she over explains, or when she figures something out, she must tell you in this exact manner, the way she has learned it, is because at one point in time, thoughts and words that were hers were not shown of great importance.
Yes. Absolutely.
So that's the reason I met you where you was at. And I was like, and I would listen. Do that mean I'm going to do it exactly the way you said it? No, but I'm going to listen. Because you weren't used to people actually sitting there listening, taking it in. Simple.
But now I don't have to be validated by people listening. Like, God is coming to me. Like, even with the show, I'm coming to, like, I'm cool if only a certain, 18 people listening. That's cool. That's fine. I love y'all 18 people. It's cool.
It ain't gonna always be like that.
Yeah, I know it's not gonna always be like that, but even if it is, it ain't that deep.
It ain't, because I'm reaching the people that God intended.
Exactly.
We are reaching the folks of God in
I ain't
10.
even gonna lie. I do still struggle with it because I just wish the show, like I wish more people heard the show so that we can listen. We trying to get financially free. We trying to get out of this system. We trying to do all these things, and so that kind of overwhelms me sometimes. And
Well,
it's not just for the money. It's for being able to do things for other people, like to be in a position where I can do things for other people, sow into other people. I don't have to sow into this crappy system. Like I can sow
ooh,
into the kingdom. Like
some just told me something.
what?
Let that go. When it comes to the show, let that go. Because I have learned, and he is hitting me right now in the heart with it. This is the why I can't grow, y'all, because you waiting on that. You want that so bad in the essence, because that is what you deem success. And you're still successful.
I don't deem the money success. I just want to get out of this system.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, what he has told us about the show is like, look, just do it because you want to do it.
Yeah, I do want to do it because I just like having these kinds of conversations.
Yeah, because if you do it because you want to do it, rather than I'm doing it because I want to do it, but also I see what it can become. Like, yeah, nah, he ain't even do nothing with that. I have learned from bad experiences. He was just like, I really would have blessed this if you just got out of my way and just stopped thinking look, how you thought about it.
Okay.
Because that's what it goes back. Man, look, this crazy Facebook that hit me. Hold on, let me get to that part. Because it was a part where he was saying that your greatest plan is not equivalent to God's lowest thought.
Dang.
That's how much God's thoughts is not our thoughts. Like, that is the gap. Your greatest plan, vision, dream, whatever you have, is not even the equivalent to God's lowest thought.
Yeah.
And that's how much we want him to think about us. Is like, if you can just give me your lowest thought, it will be bigger than anything I can ever imagine. But I gotta trust you to do that.
Yeah.
And the more I try to scheme, plan, do all this other stuff, not saying you can't plan, but it's like you plan in accordance to what God thinks, which is his will. And we let his will run rampant. Lord, let your will run rampant. Cause that way I know that I ain't never out of alignment.
That's true. And I think a lot of people, I know for a fact I was getting caught up in it just because I for me, how I was seeing it was, it's God's will for people to just be like, you always talk about how you want to be like the ultimate philanthropist. And I have that as a goal as well. I can't save everybody, but I want to be in a position to just be able to give to people in need. And whether it's given financially or just like giving
Just
you
being there.
just being there, or just giving you like free product. Like I make stuff. I want to just be able to give that away. I don't want to have to lean on that as a source of income. I want to be able to give that stuff away because these are natural products that people need compared to the other things that we have on market.
But that's the thing though, the mindset of, do you have to have enough money to give something away for free? This podcast is free.
Right.
Like, we invest in it, yes, but
It's
everything
free.
as far as it's free. Like, I've learned that in order to really truly be the mindset of philanthropist or really trying to help people, is that you have to have the mindset of, do I want to help you because it made me look good, or do I want to just help you because it is what I like to do? Because I see that you need it. Because most of the time with helping people, there's a cost that you will never get a return for. So the more we started playing I want to do this in order to have financial freedom to go do this, you ain't got to have financial freedom to go give your products away.
That's true. Y'all, this is why Jay is my friend. This is why Jay is my friend.
Look, I don't be doing nothing. I'm just here so I don't get fined. But
this is why I thank God for Jay being my friend and being part of my life. Cause I be needing to hear stuff like this.
Child, I be having to
because I hadn't even thought about it like that. you are giving stuff away. Like you're doing a podcast, it's free. You're doing a podcast, it's free. You're giving stuff away. Like you're sharing the word of God for free in a way that people can understand. You're creating a community and a space for people that's free.
For the free.
For the free.
Like you ain't asked for tithes yet.
For the free. For the free.
For the free. To where people
you don't need a wristband. You don't need a wristband.
You don't have a membership?
You don't need a membership. If you want a membership, we can show you how to get a membership, but you don't need a membership. Exactly.
Like, but that's the thing. Like, when you really are a giver and you really doing stuff because you just want to do it, majority of the time, look, Jesus didn't get not nan return.
Yeah.
For the blessings that he was handing out, except for the hope that someone would also share the gospel. Mm-hmm. And even then, that don't mean every person in the Bible that he probably helped went to go share the gospel immediately or did it at all. That's the hope.
I think my ultimate goal has always just been love, to just love. Yeah. And as a child, that wasn't like I don't know that I wasn't. I never thought about that.
Mouth sound effects of the J frustration.
I just never thought of that as like a career or anything like that. It's just like, I just want to love. I've always just wanted to love and to just give. And I know somewhere along the way that got blinded in money and everything else. But I
twisted by the world.
By the world, like just got caught up in money and pride and all that, and like my desire to love became jaded, and now like I'm really coming back to a place where I just want to love. I just want to love. I just want to love and be good, like be in a position where I don't have to worry about nothing. But me being in a position where I ain't got to worry about nothing comes from me having my faith in God.
Yeah. And it's like me from going still the mindset of I just want to love, but I've always been, since I was a kid, I always said I want to help people. Period.
Same.
Like everything, the only career that I had as a child mentally that was really not in the vein of helping people was trying to be a paleontologist because I really love dinosaurs. Everything else, I wasn't the person that said I want to be an astronaut. I was always doctor, vet, professor, stuff like that. Like that has always been me as a child because I had the idea of I wanted to help people. I have never had any other ambition as a kid. Even when I got older, even in sports, I only wanted to do athletics in order to help people. Like even me going to our school at the time was, when I first came out of high school, the mindset was, I'm going to go here to help the kids that was behind me understand that they're good enough to go here too. Mm-hmm. It was never about being a fan or I'm going to the biggest school. It was cool. Like I'm going to one of the smartest schools in the state. That's cool. But it was more about the disrespect that they had for kids that looked like me, or that folks around me in my environment told us as kids that we couldn't do, that made me go. My high school counselor legit told me I was not Auburn material.
Wow.
She told me to my face senior year, after I had already applied. I don't know if it was before I got in or after I got in. But she was just like, yeah, I feel like you should go to HBCU. I don't really think you were all material. Now, mind you, she was one of the only white women in the school.
Oh, goodness.
Right? Not saying this is racial component. It was just that this is what she thought of me. No matter how many tests I aced, like, because I was the school guinea pig when it came to standardized testing. Like, they threw me the ASVAB on a random Tuesday that I had no idea what this test was and was not going to the military. And legit got the highest score in school history.
Oh, my goodness.
The ASVAB, most people average between like a 60 and a 70. is on a scale of 99. Off not knowing what this test was, only having the intelligence I had and common sense, I got an 88 out of 99.
Wow.
Which had every military unit blowing up my house phone. Like the Navy, the Marines, the Army, the Air Force. Everybody called my phone every day for about a month. I was one of the top 100 for the PSAT back then. Because you remember that was a big thing in the city.
I was 95 percentile.
Yeah, I was like top 100 PSAT. That was cool, just throwing stuff at me. And I would have been a national high school scholar if I didn't flunk driver's ed.
Ooh.
Because I couldn't afford glasses to take the test.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, my counselor wouldn't take me out of class. Tanked my GPA because I was already an AP. But like by that time, AP, phew. So I was like, that tanked my GPA to where I could never get to a 3.5. I was like close. But, and she told me straight up, you are not Auburn material.
Wow.
I said, bet. And it burned in me to the point where I was like, I'm finna show everybody that somebody from this school, because everybody know what my school was known for, and it wasn't good. And to say that somebody came from here and graduated, now we got 3 graduates. 2010, 2011, 2012.
Oh.
From Irwin High School, not Centerpoint High School, because it was on that year. Irwin High School got 3 Auburn graduates. Actually, going into CP now, one of my youngins, who older sister was in 2011, he came out, I think, in 16 or 15. He just graduated.
Oh.
CP. That school was known for, if you got out of school, you better hope that you went off to somewhere. And 9 times out of 10, most of the people that went out to school was like A&M State or Jacksonville State was known as Irwin University.
I've heard that. I have heard.
If you were majority of people that went to A&M was band or choir. If you did get an A&M for other things, that was on you. But like Auburn, nah. We had some folks go to Bama. Yeah, that was all right. Not saying them as a person was all right, but like people were more accepting of somebody getting into Bama than you going to Auburn. Mm. Like it was like, you from this school go to Auburn and succeed? No.
But you did it. And you help other people see that they can do it too.
Went back to my track and field banquet in 2017, 2018, showing them that I went from this team, from a state champion, also competed on Auburn's track team, and I got an Auburn degree. When that wasn't happening, but that was my mentality of I always wanted to help people, even if it meant sacrificing me to show it. Mm. But now I'm at the point to where I still want to help people, but I'm not finna do myself dirty no more. Like I was so self-sacrificial in the mission of trying to help people that I really was like ruining myself. Or I was in the mindset of now looking back, how many people could have helped if I was with God the entire time? Mm.
Yeah.
So
I ain't even gonna lie, like as I'm realizing, and I used to think this when I was a child too, but like again, it got blurred, life got blurry, and I didn't think this after a while, but like now I'm coming back to the place. I really feel like I'm supposed to be somebody's stay-at-home mom and housewife, just because I only want to love.
You are hilarious.
I only want to love. I only want to serve, like cook food for people. I only want to like make natural stuff for my family to have, so that they ain't got to go out and have all these chemicals on their bodies. And
you need a lumberjack.
Like, I just want to stay at home and make things and take care of my home and take care of my family. Like that's what I want to do.
Do it for a reason. Even though apparently you need a lumberjack, but
And the reason is just love. It's love. I just want to love all y'all. I want to spend my life loving my folk, loving my like my family that lives with me, and also like my like y'all, and inviting y'all over and have like sharing a space of or being hospitable to y'all. Like that's the kind of stuff that like gets me really excited.
No wonder you need to hit the lotto. You just want
I just want to love and serve. Love, serve, and create. Love, serve, and create.
Yeah, you need to hit the lotto.
My kid's sick. Oh, bet. Let me make you some cough syrup. Make you these teas. Make you these nice soups and meals, and you good to go in 3 days. Maybe not even 3.
Mom, you gonna be here with me the whole time? Yeah, because I don't work, baby.
And gardening, taking care of my garden, make sure my family got good food to eat, good clean food to eat.
How you get all these luscious greens? Oh, I don't go to work. I just sit here and love. No, but real talk, if I had enough money to do that, boy, you wouldn't see me.
Listen.
But I'm pop out, help people pop back in. Ain't no boy.
But think about how people were doing it. Like that was a lifestyle without money.
That's why
for a while that was a lifestyle without money. The Industrial Revolution trashed all that.
Trashed all that. We were hunter gatherers.
We used to be a proud people.
We used to be a proud people. That's why we be looking at gas, but we used to be a proud people.
Yo, what? I walked into the Publix and I'm trying to save some money. And I know it's not the best water, but I was trying to get the Publix spring water. Why is it $4.75 for a case of 24? For a case of 24. That is gas prices for this case of 24 water.
See, you know what's so sad is you got to pick between water and gas.
Listen.
That is, phew.
I said, Lord, I just like let me start. Please give me my land and my off-grid stuff in my garden and my herbs and plants and my rainwater.
I love y'all, because you hear this.
My rainwater and my lake, and we have the things like. Please provide, please.
Let me send you this off-grid note. Now that you talking, so yeah, no for later. Been learning ways to hack the system. Cause that way, save you some money later on. And it's stuff we probably didn't talk about.
This.
Uh-huh.
California, po DJ.
He'll be all right. We wouldn't be all right. But there's a different cost of living over here.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I couldn't make what I make living in California.
Mm-mm.
What I look like? What I look like? The fact that some people's minimum wages now is like poverty line in California, maybe below the poverty line.
It's always been doing.
Like it's
California
so
has always had a higher cost of living.
Which, in my opinion, for the amount of mudslides, earthquakes, and wildfires,
that should not be. The only reason is because y'all are by a body of water, and you know that is an attraction. The body of water is an attraction. That is all.
I was by a body of water, and it wasn't as high as them. And I live.
Nobody want to go to Florida.
You a lie. South Florida, you a lie. South Florida is the destination for everybody who capping about money. And then I had to learn, especially this is, I guess, our little tidbit to close out, but just stuff we learned. Miami is where you lie about money. Fort Lauderdale is where you got money, or at least enough when it comes to certain areas. West Palm is where you wealthy.
Oh my.
I had to get that broken down real quick. Miami, they lie about your money. For a lot of that, you can have some money and make something happen. West Palm is where the real wealth at. And so when you go down to Miami, out there, because if you think about it, that was the PPP loan capital for the summer was Miami. Everybody went to Miami off them PPP loan scams. You saw folks from Alabama that you know for a fact shouldn't be in no South Florida out there parlaying on the beach, blowing money on bottles. Didn't I just see you in the you know what?
And what I have learned is that love is the key to all. No, but really, love. Love.
Because we're going to love on y'all.
Love, period. But that's all. That's really like all we need. And that's what God called us to do. Like, love him and love each other. And love ourselves so that we can love each other better. Like, all God called us to do is love. And we just messing it up.
And I'm going to say this too, since we talking about love. If anybody can afford it, hopefully they will love somebody enough to give them a tank of gas. Because, boy, if it is on your heart,
give somebody a tank of gas. Give it to somebody who need it. Like, it's wild out here. But we ain't gotta do it alone.
You know, it's hard out
here for a pimp. You're trying to get the money for the gas.
Because they ain't even rent for the gas. Rent going up too crazy.
Listen, boy.
I'm looking at some apartments right now in Homewood. I was just like,
same. Like
$874 ain't bad. I'm gonna cop it while I can.
Them ain't the ones I'm looking at. I'm looking at the ones that Brandon stay in because I saw that they had like a 2-bedroom with a den. I said, "Oh, word?
How much?"
It ain't $874. It's cheaper. It's cheaper than what I would expect to pay for that, and it's cheaper than where I was looking. I was looking in Trustful for.
Oh, you listen to the Trusses of Vills.
No, it's not Trustful. Like I was looking over there, and it's cheaper than Trustful to stay at the ones that I've been looking at home.
Hey, let's talk about this at the podcast. We need to keep notes.
So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed. We hope y'all enjoyed this episode. We hope that y'all got something from it. Share it with somebody who needs to hear it. Or somebody you just want to share it with. Sharing is caring. Yeah. Remember to love always.
Love and give gas.
If you don't know what that is, look it up. Read the Bible. Read 1 Corinthians 13, and you'll find out what love is, and learn how to apply it to your life.
And give gas, and not the gas you smoke unless that's all you get.
Okay.
Because some people be like, "Oh, I'm gonna give gas." No, Negro, gas that's out there in the pump. I'm talking for my ignorance. Go pump some gas for somebody.
And that's all we got. Peace.